Joshua Pearce, you are on Fraud Watch. I just saw F1, that new Formula 1 racing movie, and I did quite enjoy it. But the main issue I had was being told and not shown Joshua Pearce actually being good. He's like this young up-and-coming driver who's apparently really talented, but we never see it. I find it really fun sometimes to look at these fictional sports people and see how good are they really. I'm thinking Troy Bolton at basketball. I'm thinking Harry Potter at Quidditch even, right? And in watching this film, it doesn't take a huge deep dive to see that Joshua Pearce has nothing about him. Like, this character, so underdeveloped. Not even in terms of his like ability as a driver, but just like in all aspects. His personal life, like his arc he goes, and we don't see like anywhere near enough with him. The fact that they cut Simone Ashley's character completely probably didn't help. I'm assuming she was probably pretty close to that character. Most of the time we are told he's really good, and we never see it on screen. What we see on screen is him being really bad. So yeah, I've got it written down here. He secures the team their first ever point after 2 years by finishing 10th. The only reason he finishes 10th is because Sonny Hayes has this crazy cowboy strategy where he's gonna like keep crashing on purpose so he can keep getting track position, and he just about manages to clinch a 10th place because of it. Okay, so that's how he gets that little win. Then we're at Monza at some point and he finds himself towards the front, right? Probably due to similar means as the first race, let's be honest. I can't exactly remember, but it's probably because Sonny did some bullshit strategy, right? He finds himself towards the front, it starts to rain, he chooses, right, not to pit. He chooses to stay on the dry tires in the wet. Sonny chooses to pit. Okay, so Pearce is ahead and Verstappen's in front of him, and then he admits this, right? He chooses to go and make this overtake. He makes a mistake and he Grosjeans himself. He chucks himself over the barriers into the wall. His car's on fire and he's out for 3 races. In that 3 race gap, we see Sonny Hayes go on to like give the team their best form ever. Like, he finishes like between the places of like 6th and 4th, I think, and they're basically doing really well. We don't know how well the replacement driver's doing in Joshua Pearce's place, but I'm assuming he's not doing terribly. He's at least not crashing into his teammate. We'll get to that. During all of this, we see Joshua Pearce in the simulator. He's trying to put the work in. He's trying to right his wrongs. He's trying to rectify that mistake into that final corner, and we see him try it again and again until he succeeds. Right now, on Joshua Pearce's return at Spa, he sees a bunch of people holding up flyers for Sonny because Sonny's been doing well in Joshua's absence, and this pisses him off. Probably causes him to drive a little bit extra angry, and he crashes into Sonny on the first lap. He goes forward, I think it said on the graphic, to finish like 8th. So that's a career best for him. In doing so, he took out his own teammate. I don't know how he did in Vegas because Sonny drove into a wall, but I don't think they even bothered mentioning how well Joshua Pearce done, so he probably didn't set the world alight. And then there is the final race where, oh my god, the final race, man. They once again find themselves closing in on a win after like a miracle red flag, and Pearce is in a better position though. Pearce is in 3rd, he's on fresher tyres than the cars ahead, and we're thinking this is set up for him to go 4th and get the win. That's what we're building to. We then restart the race, we are driving forwards, and Joshua Pearce doesn't overtake a single car on his own in this. He gets overtaken by Sonny behind him to then slingshot forwards to be able to overtake Leclerc. That's how he gets the first car. How does he get Lewis Hamilton? How does he find himself in first? Through his own ability, his own talent? No, again, it's through Sonny Hayes helping him. Sonny has to basically sacrifice himself, is the word they used, right? To kind of like duck inside or outside to basically trick Lewis Hamilton, so then there'll be an opening for Pearce to drive through. So that's how Pearce has now found himself in first place. Nothing off his own back there, really. Nothing cool from him, and he's in first place. But the music is building still, and it's still a cool moment, and he's like wheel to wheel, and it's really cool, right? These are really nice dynamic shots. We're closing in on a corner, and they don't visually show this, but it mentally makes you think of it. It makes you think of he was in this situation before, battling for a win. Last time against Verstappen, it was in the wet last time. He couldn't get the corner right, but he's been in the simulator. He's been trying again. He's trying to right his wrongs. You're thinking it's going to be the moment. As he passes Lewis Hamilton, he says something like, yeah, now you're going to remember me. This is his moment. It's all building to this. And he crashes again. What the hell? What are we doing with this character? Couldn't even stay ahead of Lewis for like more than like 4 corners, and then he crashes again. And then he immediately cheers as the gravel is still falling down his helmet, probably for his teammate who's going through, taking his win. No, you're an athlete. In the moment, you are going to be so incredibly pissed off that you just threw that away for a second time. Meaning on screen, we saw this guy pick up a 10th because of Sonny's hard work, an 8th after crashing Sonny out, and we've seen Sonny pick up a 6th, a 5th, a 4th, I think, all in Pearce's absence, and now a race win because Pearce crashed out for a second fucking time. And by the way, the only reason Sonny doesn't have another podium to his name is because the first time Pearce crashed out, Sonny stopped his car to get out and pull his limp body from the car. It's crazy. We have these like dumb, goofy shots where like Pearce is like cheering in the gravel as fireworks go off behind him for another guy who's 50 odd years old, hasn't been in a Formula 1 car in the last 3 years or whatever. Sorry, 30 years or something like that. This character gets no moments, and he's just so jubilant about it. We see Toto Wolff, right, a real life team principal for Mercedes, come up to him after this race and tell him, if you ever want to sit, if you want to come to our team, there's a seat open at the moment. A lineup which is currently Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Now sure, maybe in universe as well, Lewis Hamilton's going to Ferrari, so maybe there is an open seat. But immediately going up to Joshua Pearce, who just lost this race, threw this win away, and in doing so crashed out with your own driver, Lewis Hamilton, is crazy. And once again, we're just being told that this guy is just good and amazing. He says after the race, I'm not that pissed about it. I'm going to win so many races. Based off what? It's mental. In fact, you're even still got a seat, really. Just the way they were building to that being his moment. And then it's actually a really cool scene. Like, it's like they're talking about how he feels like he's flying. Brad Pitt is essentially in like flow state on that final lap. It's all really silent. Like, they have this nice close up on like Brad Pitt's eyes, and he's like crying a bit. And it's like, it's really nice. And I'm just thinking, I can't properly enjoy this because you have this character who you've just completely stripped of everything. You basically bent him over. This is like, you've killed one character for the other character's benefit, and it's just like the film is obsessed with Brad Pitt, and that's kind of its downfall. Like, I feel like Top Gun Maverick knew the strengths of Miles Teller's character and of Glenn Powell's character, and maybe this film feared being too similar to that film, so they didn't want to do that. But like, it really lacks something because of it. Like, I don't know, man, it wasn't even just like him not being a good driver, but they keep telling us he's good, because that's essentially what all of this has been so far. It's that like, he's this really cocky, arrogant driver who wants money and clothes and Instagram likes, and sometimes we're told he doesn't care about that anymore, and then sometimes he does, and like, he's like this jokey, smiley, he's always doing the sort of ads and stuff, he's always doing the media, now he doesn't care about them, and it's like, he's going through certain bits of character growth, and it's just like, what domino fell to lead you to this point? We missed out on certain bits of dialogue and development that was needed between Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. I reckon he probably had moments of growth with Simone Ashley's character, who is no longer in the film, and therefore we missed out on those moments. He is just this kind of cocky, arrogant, brash character. We don't really know what he wants, and by the end of the film, he's kind of still that. He's not really achieved anything on track or off track. And it's just like kind of disappointing. And a lot of people were talking about the marketing for this film, and it was like all Brad Pitt, and it kind of felt like Damson Idris was really off by the wayside. And after watching the film, you kind of see why, because it really isn't his film. Sure, I guess you could argue Top Gun Maverick isn't Miles Teller's film, it's still Tom Cruise's film, but Miles Teller is a far more pivotal point, and like there's a passing of a torch kind of there, and there's like moments from there, and there's like real growth. Like, think about what Miles Teller goes through, think about what he has to learn, think about the moments he has towards the end, think about like the dynamic there, and it's like this film does not have that between these characters. Like, Joshua Pearce is just like a goofball. But yes, I did still give the film like a 7 out of 10. Joshua Pearce and his failings as a character may be the worst parts about it.